All right, we good now, man. Sorry about the last one. I don't know what was going on. What's up, Brandon Luke? Shout out to everybody entering into the chat section. We're gonna give about 30 seconds and we're gonna go ahead and get started, guys. We're gonna talk today real quick about the Miami Dolphins. Possibly there's an article came out today. I forgot his name, Sagaro, where he basically was showing the similarities of 2012 with right now and what the Dolphins are going through. And basically, it outlined a good argument of why we're repeating our past. All right, Armando, yeah, it was some cigar, but Armando, yeah. And shout out to David Nance for sending this to me. By the way, shout out to you, David. It was an interesting article because everything that Armando said in the article was true. Now, there were a lot of things that were left out to put it into contrast, but it was true what he was saying. Same situations happening. What happened? I thought we making good moves. We are making good moves. No, we're not making good moves. We're making great moves, man. I'm just talking about the article that came out today where they outlined, Armando outlined pretty much, the guy is fake news. Well, it's still, people, whether you think it's fake news or not, a lot of the things he said was factual, but I'm going to talk to you all and show you all where it's not the same though, okay? It's not the same in 2012. He was basically pointing out the similarities, such as in 2012, how we dumped all of the veteran players we kind of had, and we went ahead and got Tannehill, just like we just did with Wade Quinn and all those guys, dumped them, and now we got Rosen. He was also pointing out how we were so terrible that Stephen Ross basically said he firing the coach. It was Philbin, Sperano era. It was during the Philbin-Sperano switch era where he fired the coach, brought the new coach in. Same thing with Adam Gase, Brian Flores. Same thing with got rid of a GM and kept one. Same thing with Tannenbaum and Greer. And basically just pointing out all those same things that are happening. And basically, are we repeating the same thing that we did in the past? Now, what I want y'all to realize in all of this, Rosen may be another T. Hill, not sure though. And Jay Rose, and that's what I wanted to talk about because that's not a bad thing. And here's what I'm trying to, I try to get across to you all is the simple fact that, what up, Watchmen? Is the simple fact that we done blamed so many people. Do you know sometimes you can have the blame wrong? You know, you can have a trash GM, but for 10 years you're blaming this player, that player, this player, that player. And then all the time it was actually the GM. You can have a bad quarterback for many years. And the quarterback, you know, we're not blaming the quarterback, we're blaming this, we're blaming that, we're blaming this, and all the time we realize, oh crap, it was the quarterback. That's what we went through a lot of, man. So I don't want y'all to sit here and be like, oh, because we had Tannehill was bad so long, but this and that. When people start naming names of players and stuff like that, if you understand what the Miami Dolphins been through for the last 20 years, then you got to understand how you go through 20 quarterbacks and then you want to blame all 20. How you go through 10 coaches and want to blame all 10? You know? Like, yeah, we knew it was the coach, get rid of him next. You know? Sometimes it's other factors that's causing you to not be successful. But we always got to find a person to blame, and we hit them hard, even if it's not really them, but they look like the convenient option at the time. I mean, think about it, y'all. We done been through like 10 coaches in 20 years. We done been through 20 quarterbacks in 20 years. It's crazy. I don't care what you say. It hasn't been all those quarterbacks. Yeah, all of them ain't Brady, but at the same token, it was 20 quarterbacks wasn't the reason we were losing. 10 coaches wasn't the reason we were losing. 3 GMs regimes ain't the reason why we were losing. There's more than just one thing, man. There's more than, every time something goes wrong on a team, usually it's about 2 or 3 things wrong. Now, sometimes one of those things impact the other thing. But we want to get rid of both and not realize that's impacting that. That's impacting that. I've been preaching for the last 7 years, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. What did they say before Jay Ajayi? We need an actual good running back, a solid running back. And we get rid of all these running backs, Lamar Miller gone, or this and that and this. When a lot of the time it was the O-line. But we need a running back. Then we're like, we don't have a number one receiver. We need a number one receiver. When the whole time, it ain't like none of the quarterbacks we ever had time. I ain't talking about Tanny. I'm talking about before that. The Brandon Marshall era and stuff like that. Before Brandon Marshall. It's not like we had an offensive line. They gave the quarterback time to throw the ball to let a receiver come out of the pile to be a number one or a 1,000-yard guy. It's always something affecting someone else, but all we do is look at the raw number and not look at the underlying data. And that's the biggest trick out there that's messing organizations up. So whenever Armando writes his piece, I mean, I like the facts that he laid out because he was right. It's the same type situation. The only difference is there were certain principles that we did not follow back in 2012 all the way up to this point. The number one principle that we're hoping this regime doesn't make, see, it's not the fact that we're repeating the same thing. No one ever said in 2012 we actually did anything wrong. It's what we did between 2012 and 2017 that really hurt us. See, we still got our mindset on the player. When Ndamukong Suh wasn't a bad pickup in the last 7 years. But you know what? His salary was a bad pickup. And that impacted the team. Okay? Mike Pouncey wasn't a bad pickup. He was a great one. But how much he was getting paid with his injuries were impacting our team. It's not the player. Our number one problem for the last few years has not been the player per se. Yes, some of them that we got to move on from. We need better at the position. That's all neither here nor there. And let me tell you why it's neither here nor there. Because at the end of the day, all these players that we say, yeah, but they're not the answer. We need to move on from them. That's not true. The reason why I say it's not true, whatever player that you dislike, whether it's Tannehill, whether it's this person, that person, this person, that person, that we got rid of because you say that we needed to move on from them. Imagine if they played for Miami Dolphins who didn't overpay for contracts and had 8s across the board and a great team. There would be less attention on those players. We would not think the way we do now about those players because we would have had a little more success. Think about it. We done had several seasons of 7, 8, and 9 wins. 1 or 2 more wins every season just by not overdoing a contract and having more balance on the roster will get us another 1 or 2 wins every season. And you know what that means for Miami? That means out of the last 10 years, Miami, instead of one time, if it was that, I got to remember the year we went to the playoffs. But instead of the one time, we might have went 3 or 4 times. And that is a different picture, ladies and gentlemen. It's still something that we're not proud of because we want to compete every year. But I promise you, if we had at least 4 or 5 playoff appearances, I don't care if it was wild card exit. If we had 4 or 5 playoff appearances, half of our roster wouldn't even be the same right now. It wouldn't even be the same right now. Hey, TD, I laugh when people said T. Hill has no pocket presence, but 90% of the time he was on the ground. If Rosen ends up on the ground, a lot of people will be calling for his head too. Carlos, I'm glad you said that. I was actually going to end the stream with that, but I'll talk about it right now since you bring it up. I am so nervous for this kid, man. He's not coming into a better offensive line situation. He's coming into a worse offensive line situation. With us hoping the pickups and the free agents that we got can just surprise us. And if this kid keeps going down, he's not even going to get a fair shake, man. I always argue Tannehill ain't have a fair shake, but you know what? Some of y'all want to argue with me. Oh, it's been 7 years, whatever. Okay, whatever. It's been 7 years. Tannehill's trash, whatever. I'll appease y'all. It doesn't benefit me to not appease y'all at this point because, hey, he's gone. I'll appease you. I'll feed into your nonsense and say Tannehill was trash. But all I'm saying is now I got to defend Josh Rosen. If this kid comes in with a bad O-line and he doesn't look good, now we're gonna be really repeating it and continue to hammer him and say, go get Tua. Go get Tua. I'm sick of this mess. Go get Tua. That's what you're gonna do. Go get Tua. Man, Rosen trash. Go get Tua. And a part of me wants us to actually, a part of me wants it to, I don't know, let me stop. I don't want it to happen because I want nothing but success for my team. But a part of me is like, man, if they don't protect Rosen and he keeps going down and all these non-football fans yelling, go get Tua, Rosen sucks. I kind of hope we get Tua, but I hope we keep the same O-line. And when Tua back there looking like trash, when Tua is back there looking like trash, and this will be the first time I'm able to throw it all down most of y'all throat, and when y'all start being participating in hypocrisy. Oh, we need an O-line. We finally got the quarterback we want, but now we don't have an O-line. What? Are you kidding me? We finally got the quarterback we want, but now we don't have. That's what y'all gonna do. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. That's what you gonna do. If we bring in Tua next year and we got the same bum O-line and this kid is getting killed, y'all gonna back up Tua. All y'all Tannehill and Rosen haters are gonna back up Tua and say we got the quarterback we want. We just need an O-line around him. Wow. And y'all know it's true. You know what I'm saying is true. That ain't even cool, y'all. That's how some of y'all think because it's not your guy. You won't defend him even though you recognize he got a bad O-line. But let it be y'all guy. Let it be the Tua of the world. Oh, we got a bad O-line making our new quarterback look bad. Oh, did this line not make Rosen look bad? Well, we already knew what Rosen was in Cardinals. And Cardinals had a worse O-line than us. I didn't think nobody had a worse O-line than us. Cardinals did. With Tannehill, but it's been 7 years. Yeah, 3 out of those 7 years, he had no O-line. 2 of those years he was hurt. The other 2, he showed he went 8-2, and then he went 4-1 or 4-2 or something like that. Winning times. Come on, man. This is why I love debunking all these people that talk football, but they talking it off of emotion. You make it real easy because the evidence is right in front of you. It's right in front of you, man. We just signed a tackle from the Bills. Cool, man. I'll check that out right after this, man. I'll check it out right after this, so I might be live again. TD, we had Marino 17 years. A quarterback can't do it all. I know, but this is my point. Who was that? Carlos, that's my point, man. That's what I keep trying to tell these people, man. They making it seem like the quarterback makes all the difference. No. Let me tell you something. Tannehill was good enough to win a Super Bowl. Chad Henne might have been good enough to win a Super Bowl. Henne or Pennington, whatever one was better. I done shifted them out of my mind. Whatever one that was good during that time. These guys were good enough to win us a Super Bowl. Because all they had to do was do their job. But then y'all always want to look at other quarterbacks and compare them to the quarterbacks we have and don't care nothing about the different circumstance. You want to look at Russell Wilson, who literally only throws 18 passes a game. Who literally, did y'all hear me? The man only throws 18 passes a game, like 2 passes per drive, 3 passes per drive. And then the offense is predicated off an offensive line that runs 6 or 7 men on the offensive line at all times because they're a primary running team. And y'all want to compare him to Tannehill. You want to compare a Brady to Tannehill when Brady always get the protection he need, and when he don't have the protection is because the offense is predicated off of getting the ball off in 1 second. So he ain't got to deal with all that time. Y'all want to talk about all the quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes when he got one of the. That's what killed me last year. We kept on see this is what we need in a quarterback. How you gonna say this is what we need in a quarterback when they are both under totally different circumstances? Totally different. You're the biggest liar in this world if you think that Patrick Mahomes behind Miami Dolphins offensive line last year would have put up 5,050. 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. You're the biggest liar in this world. You know what? Let me stop. I ain't finna attack people. But you know you lying. If you think that Patrick Mahomes was gonna put up 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns behind our O-line, the man wouldn't even got 4,040. Wouldn't have even got 4,040. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So when Armando makes that leave that photo alone. When Armando makes that article, he's right about, hey, it's all looking the same, but there's small key things that we didn't do in the last 7 years to be consistent. Nothing was wrong with what we did 7 years ago when we purged. Nothing was wrong with bringing in a new quarterback at the time, getting rid of the GM, bringing in a new coach. Nothing was wrong with any of that. So when we say we're repeating it again, yeah, we are repeating that portion of it. But after that was all said and done, this is where the difference has to come. Not overpaying for contracts, bringing in people like Ndamukong Suh just to get something in Miami. Not making sure that you're not developing your young talent. Going forward, making sure that we're signing the right deals long term for these young guys that benefits us in the long run. You know what I mean? Let me see this. Sign Jordan Mills. I'll check it out. 1 year, $3 million. I gotta go check out everything about him first, man. Cause if a QB does all, I did not know Marino threw the ball to himself on the spike play instead of Fryer TD. Exactly. Listen, Carlos, they know it. Everything you saying right now, everybody know. They know it. They know what we saying makes all the sense in the world. I'm just trying to get people to stop acting like reacting just right away and not evaluating the actual situations, man. We done let some great players go because of the situation. Look how many, come on, y'all. Ted Ginn looked like a respectable receiver when we let him go. It wasn't Ted Ginn, it was the situation he was in. Lamar Miller looked like a respectable running back in Houston when we let him go. It wasn't Lamar Miller, it was the situation we was in. Come on, man. So I can't sit here. Look at this. Rosen is a natural passer. Tannehill was a converted wide receiver. So what? The kid threw footballs in college and played college football at the quarterback position. What are y'all talking about? Yeah. So you mean to tell me, hold on, let me get this straight. You mean to tell me, just because you were a wide receiver, that don't mean you could have played quarterback? You mean to tell me a high school student who's a better quarterback, but the team already has a really good quarterback, but he can also play wide receiver, so he decides to play wide receiver, so he's not number 2 on the depth chart? That's a knock on him? And then when he goes to college, he plays some receiver, and then he tells the coach, hey, I can play this quarterback position, and he goes and proves it and does a hell of a job? He's just, well, it doesn't matter, he'll convert it. No! Stop that crap, man. An athlete is an athlete. Y'all killing me, man. Rosen was a tennis player. If that's true, I don't know, but once again, it don't matter. An athlete is an athlete. Matter of fact, it's more beneficial. It's more beneficial if you done did multiple things. Some of the quarterbacks in this league were basketball players. Most basketball players were football players. Get out of here with that craziness, man. That don't matter. Stop it. No. Put that down. You writing all over my folder. No. He played QB in high school, TD. I know that. But what I'm saying is that's my point. They were talking about Rosen is a more natural passer. What the hell is a natural passer? What the hell is a natural passer? Can somebody explain that to me? What in the hell is a natural passer? You either can play quarterback or you can't. Ain't no such thing as no natural passer. I hate when I see him on TV. He's a natural passer. What is an unnatural passer? What the hell? Y'all talking about, man? Get out of here with that, man. People change positions all the time and are successful. Exactly. TD, they babysat Tannehill his whole career. You know this. He was flawed in so many ways. Once again. But why are you blaming Tannehill? If they babysat him, then maybe we needed a coach that wouldn't babysat him, put more pressure on him. When he messed up, put the pressure on him to get it right. We might have a quarterback today that gets it right. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. Why y'all blaming him? What you just said went wrong. They babysat him. I mean, I ain't saying I don't see any evidence of them babysitting him. Y'all, you going off of media rumors? Oh, they just babysat him. You're going off of the media right now. But if I'm to fall into that, okay, what does that matter? If somebody else babysits you, that ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. I'm sure Tannehill was still saying, "Give me what I need." He can't be sitting there telling his coach, "Come on, coach, yell at me, get on me harder." Or come on, man. Look at the terms y'all use. Like most of y'all, you sound like a sports analyst that don't know nothing about our team. Not your team, not my team. Our team. You sound like a sports analyst that know nothing about our team. All these rumors and little small things that keep going around like natural passer, babysat him. The hell does all that mean? Y'all better start reading through that crap that they keep feeding us, man. Read through that crap, because it's crap. It's crap to give them a video to finish about a team that they know nothing about, and they know that the Dolphin fans are some of the most craziest delusional fans. I saw a little thing on Facebook or Instagram the other day. Top 10 things Dolphin fans do. Every year they say they're going to the Super Bowl. Every year they say this. Every year they do this. Every year they were naming all these things, and I was like, man, they right. And I find myself falling into some of them. But a lot of us we delusional. But I'm tired of living that life. I'm diving deep in everything that's said about my team and why it's said to check its validity. And I'm finding now that half of it ain't true. So y'all stop. Just because you read an article don't make it true. I can cut this video off right now and come back and say Brian Flores is a terrible man and this, that, and this, and people are talking about it. So I don't care if it's 10 people that watch the video, one of them gonna sit there and be like, well, I heard Brian Flores was horrible. Yeah, you heard, and you see how that keep going from people that's uneducated. They just go off of word of mouth and what they hear. I'm trying to give y'all facts, man. Facts. Right, that's what I'm saying. Appreciate you, Terrence. Preacher TD. Imagine if James Wake and Quinn took a team-friendly deal instead of moving on. Fins would be a full step up. You're correct, because once again, Quinn ain't the same player he used to be. Cam Wake is pretty much done. He ain't do nothing last year. You don't know football. If you understand, these guys were double teamed a lot. Because our defensive tackle was gone, the inside didn't have to double team. So they put the double teams on the outside because there was no threat up the middle. Those guys are still monsters. Watch this year, you're going to hear their name. Y'all going to be all up in my chat. Did you see Cam Wake had a 4-sack game or whatever it is? And I'm going to be like, oh, I'm not surprised. Are y'all surprised? And no. That y'all ain't going to stop right there. Cam Wake had a 4-sack game. He didn't give us that kind of effort last year. He wouldn't even have for that. You don't know football. He was more than that. It was just the situation that they were in, man. Man, y'all hit that like button, man. Watching you on break, TD. What's the topic, fam? Spoke to some fans are excited about Rosen. I'm glad they're excited about Rosen. I'm excited about him too, but I'm actually shivering, man. Ugh. I'm shivering for the kid. I'm shivering for the kid because those down low haters are just sitting idle right now. That's all right. We'll wait till the season starts. They waiting for the first thing bad to happen so they can pounce on it. I told you we should have got Haskins. They sitting in they little, man, they hibernating right now, man. They sitting in they cage just hibernating. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for the first failure. They waiting. They sitting back waiting. And I'm nervous for the kid, not because of the kid's ability. I'm nervous because if this offensive line don't play well, he's gonna look bad. And I know that this coaching staff is gonna recognize that. But the fans are gonna be once again more divided than ever. And TD gonna be like, y'all stop blaming Rosen. Then y'all gonna be like, oh, you wanna pamper him like you did Tannehill. Same crap. Same crap. That's why I told y'all I'm kind of low-key wanting to get Tua, but then I'm scared that you grab a Tua, then you fix the O-line and told you, look at it. Look at what we doing now. No, this O-line is fixed now. The O-line is fixed. We in a crazy little crossroad right here, man. People need to start to understand that, man. Let me see. True, I see two of guys taking that argument. I already know, man. They're going to sit idle and wait on every single interception. Oh, this bum. We got another 10. Watch how many times. You see, they always say that I'm bringing up Tannehill. Watch how many times in my live chats during games. Oh, another Tannehill. First interception, another Tannehill. They ready for it, man. They just sitting back waiting. Hey, I'm doing a final in my English 12 class, and I need help. Hey, man, you ain't getting me thrown in jail like them people paying for their kids to go to college. I ain't finna be live committing these federal crimes, giving you a scholastic advantage and have me locked up. So would a castle dragon be in a gothic novel? Man, I'm done with that. That's like saying Fitz can't play safety because he played nickel in college. Exactly. That's like me saying, that's like Fitzpatrick going to safety and I'm always on my stream arguing, man, he's a natural attacker. He needs to be in the box at nickel. Why we got him at safety? Y'all get out of here, man. Y'all get out of here with that craziness. We have to move past who's not here anymore and get behind the guys that are here, especially Rosen. I agree, Scant. I totally agree. The problem is we can't move past guys of the past because they teach you a valuable lesson. Like, we don't care nothing about Tannehill. Hopefully, whatever he do in his future, as long as it ain't hurting the Dolphins, I wish him success. But you got to use that study of Tannehill to evaluate your future. If Rosen sucks behind a bad line and we get rid of Rosen, now we got to take Tannehill and Rosen and all them quarterbacks before Tannehill and look at it, right? Then say we do get Tua and he got a bad line and he sucks. First year just sucked, trash, right? Now we got to look at all these quarterbacks and be like, we just can't find the one. I'm waiting on somebody to say, hold on, let's line up these 23 quarterbacks by the end. What's the common factor? Because the quarterback ain't the common factor. What's the common factor? O-line. And you see the little spurt, 2-year spurt where we had an O-line, the starting quarterback was actually hurt. But it's always been the O-line. That is the common factor. That's why you can move on, but you got to keep it in the file cabinet for reference purpose so that you can study what worked in the past and what didn't work. So that's why you got to keep that. So the common denominator has always been the O-line. And y'all tell me I'm wrong. I care less if he was a wide receiver. If he's a great QB also, then even better, but I didn't believe in T. Hill. Okay. Yes, it's not his fault when an O-lineman goes down, but show me an Aaron Rodgers moment once. Can Aaron Rodgers right now for the last few years show you an Aaron Rodgers moment, Jay? I agree with your whole statement, though, bro. I agree with your whole statement. You want to see more flair or this and that, but you also got to understand there's nothing wrong with see, this is another thing. I'm actually glad you said that, Jay. Let's get this straight once and for all, y'all. Let's get this straight. Tannehill is not an Aaron Rodgers. I don't even believe Tannehill could be an Aaron Rodgers. We need to stop acting like the quarterbacks should be an Aaron Rodgers. And for the record, you don't need an Aaron Rodgers caliber quarterback to win it all. Is Flacco or Aaron Rodgers? Is Eli Manning and Aaron Rodgers? So help me understand why everybody thinks, well, at least show me an Aaron Rodgers moment. Basically, regardless of all the pressure, get out and make a spectacular play. I don't remember Eli getting out no pockets, making no spectacular play. I remember somebody making a spectacular catch off his helmet. I don't remember Flacco getting out the pocket, making this crazy spectacular play. So when people make comments like that, but at least show me of Aaron Rodgers' moment, for the life of me, he doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. True, but Eli had a great team when he won. Don't mean Eli was good. Exactly. But you're proving my point, Jay. He had a great team around him. A great team. Do you know what a great team entails? A better than average offensive line. Nobody said we got to be top 5 O-line. At least be top 13. At least have an O-line. Guys, you will be a fat liar if you can sit here and tell me when Tannehill was healthy, he ever had an O-line that was ranked better than 15. I might even go out on a limb to say you'll be alive if you tell me he had an O-line that was ranked better than 20th. Even when you had Brandon Albert at left tackle, Laramie Tunsil at left guard, Pouncey at center, and I don't remember the rest of them. Even when they had that line, because I believe that's the time when Tannehill got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. That was the time he got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. So you proving my point, Jay. Eli had a great team when he won, though. That's my whole point I'm trying to make here. It's not all on the QB. It's not. There's my value. Oh, there it is. It's just not, man. Let me see what y'all talk about. I could care less. My bad. I can care less if he okay. If we fix our O-line, Rosen will be just fine. Yes, he will. But you know what? It can be deceiving. Here's what people don't understand. Like, say we fix our O-line right now and Rosen does a good job and he's our future. People still haven't learned their lesson to realize that it was an O-line. They're going to give Rosen that kind of credit, when they need to keep their eyes on the real root cause of our issues. And it's always been the O-line. Always. If I miss your comment, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling down to the bottom because I'm so far behind. A strong O-line makes an okay QB good and makes a good QB great. Joe, I couldn't have said it better. And that's the point that I keep on trying to bring to people. It can make a bad QB look average, an average QB look good, and a good QB look great. Tom Brady said it himself recently. He said it himself in so many words. Quarterbacks win or lose the games. That's a lie, Pete. You still living behind quarterbacks. They don't win or lose the game. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl because of the defense. Defense has more of an impact than the quarterback. You know why? Because on the offense, you can still run that ball. On defense, you predicated off of stopping the other team. Your offense can put up 50 yards in a game and get one field goal, but your defense has the power to still allow you to win that game. Do you see my point here? And a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. Your defense also has the potential to score you points too. Russell Wilson won his Super Bowls off of the defense. If Brady and them defense didn't play the way that they did against the Chiefs in the first half of that game, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. They wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl. Ryan Tannehill will see 8-man boxes and call hike out of a single back dive up the middle. Never change or call audibles. What are the chances of the play being successful? Whose fault does that fall on? Pete, come on, man. You asking trick questions. You asking questions that you know my answer gonna be controversial because you know some people gonna disagree. But we know that wasn't on Tannehill. We know good and well that Adam Gase had a control complex. Don't sit here and act like he didn't. Do not sit there and act like he didn't. Do not sit there and act like we ain't already go through that segment where, no, put it down. Don't act like we didn't go through that segment where Adam Gase told him run my plays. Tannehill has never had that freedom. And then some people were even arguing with me, well, maybe he ain't the guy if he got that freedom. Maybe the coach ain't the guy if you're not going to empower your quarterback to have that freedom. Because at the end of the day, you need a quarterback that has that freedom. And if he fails, then you know he ain't the guy. But don't just keep him from that freedom and then try to determine whether or not he's the guy. And then on top of it, that's the coach's responsibility anyway. Because who vouches for Tannehill? Gase, Greer, and Tannenbaum. Why are we putting it? Y'all keep on putting these things on Tannehill. This man ain't y'all. What y'all basically saying is there's something wrong with a man who comes in, follows instructions, and do his job and try to do it right. He know he's not Brady, Aaron Rodgers, where he can tell his coach, kiss my behind and still be fine and do what he want to do. He ain't the Dan Marino guy. And let me tell you something else. You know, Dan Marino used to clash with what's his name? Jimmy Johnson. You know, Jimmy Johnson wanted to run that ball a lot more. All y'all veterans in loving the Dolphins, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know the history of Miami. You know, Dan Marino actually defied many of his plays late in the game. And they won. But guess what? It's easy for Dan Marino to make that call when he got the weapons to do it. When he got the time to do it. It's easy for him to make that call. But imagine Dan Marino making that call with the worst O-line and trash receivers. And he throws the right ball. He made the right call and he throws the right ball and the receiver drops it. Who taking the blame? Dan Marino would take the blame. So it's easy for him to have made those decisions because he had reliable guys to do it with. But that is death to a quarterback in this world's NFL. That is death these days. You don't last long in this league taking those chances these days like y'all want them to because the person on the receiving end ain't great enough to get it done with you. Come on, man. Y'all better start breaking this stuff down the right way, man. We should trust our front office. We have great minds at work in there. I agree. Yes, sir. Defense wins championships all day. Defense wins championships. LOL. I just read the repeat article at work like an hour ago. And like I said, on that article, I actually like the article. Some of y'all say that guy gives fake news. I don't know him. But I actually like the article. I appreciate him taking the time putting in that work. Because let me tell you something I appreciated about the article. There lies Armando is somebody that obviously uses his brain and starting to evaluate correlations. That means he's evaluating correlations. It happened in 2012 the same way. But I would like to see him do that follow-up work throughout the years that basically says, oh, but look at the major difference that the Dolphins are doing now. Or, yep, look at them. They still taking that same course, but we'll be able to evaluate where they keep going wrong. You know? So I appreciate the article, but I wanted to elaborate on it because I think that, yeah, we're doing the same exact thing. But it's like having a plan. And there's 10 steps to the plan, and you execute 4 of them, and then you just go off the trail. Don't even touch the next 6 things. And then we start that program again and say, hey, we need to do it consistent this time. And we get to the 4th one, and we had a fork in the road. Do we go down the path, or do we do what we did before? That don't mean it was a mistake the first time of the first 3 things we did. It just means we didn't stick to the course. We didn't stay the course. But that don't mean we knocked the course we were taking. It's just that we got off course making rash decisions. And like I keep going to, Adam Gase got fired because Stephen Ross said he wanted to win now. And wanting to win now will cause you to go off course. Hey, man, I got a good team in front of me right now. Get me that guy and that guy right now, and we ready. Hey, man, Tannehill went down. We got a successful season going. Go ahead and call Jay Cutler for me. Now, that's the symptoms of wanting to win now. A humble team would have had their backup rolling even if it wouldn't have worked out. Because you don't spend that kind of money just to grab something you wanted to win now. The evidence is there. I see exactly what they mean by it. All right? Let me see what y'all talk about. Bill Labor and Mike Shanahan did the same thing too. TD, that's why I said they babysit him his whole 7 years. And I'm not going to debate that they babysitted him. Again, it depends on your definition of babysit, if I'll agree or not. Push him harder, I think they could have. And let me tell you how I think they could have. They could have chastised him more in the media. You know, Tannehill had a bad game today. He didn't follow this read. He got to be better as a quarterback going forward. I would have liked to hear things like that. It don't mean you give up on your quarterback, but you want to see how he reacts under pressure. Versus, well, you know, it's not just him. Now, don't get me wrong. They had an argument when they always defended him and say it's not just him, you know. He has to get the protection and X, Y, and Z. They're right by saying that. But if there's 10 things that go wrong from on the offense in a game, and the offensive line are 7 and Tannehill are 3, I want to see them point out those 3. We got to be transparent, you know? But they didn't. They just pointed out 3 or 4 offensive line issues and empowered their QB. But that's reverse empowerment. And they're not doing it. They weren't doing it the smart way. Tannehill decision-making got him canned out of Miami for peanuts. That's a lie, Pete. It has nothing to do with your decision-making. Once again, okay, what decision would you... You know what? Let me say this. Forget that. I ain't going to say you, Pete, because you don't play in the NFL. What kind of decision is Tom Brady going to make if... Like, literally, what kind of decision is Tom Brady going to make if it's a 3rd and 19, right, y'all? Watch this, y'all. It's a 3rd and 19. And the defense is sending a 7-man blitz. And you got 7 men on the O-line with no running back. Quarterback in the shotgun, but 7 men for max protection. But you got a one-on-one battle across the board. The defense sending 7 guys. And your coach calls a play that tells 2 receivers to the right and 1 receiver to the left, run a fly route, which means just go all the way out. All the way out. Now, this is a 19-yard first down. And the defense is they're playing 12 yards off. Matter of fact, they send him 7. They got all 3 corners guarded, 12 yards off. I mean, all 3 receivers guarded, but 12 yards off. And then they got a high safety at the line, at the yard marker in the middle of the field. What is the quarterback gonna do if you got an empty set and this is what the coach wants? Now we can all see and say, oh, he got an audible it. And maybe that's what you're talking about on decision making, but the coach done made it clear, don't audible my plays. Do what I asked you to do. Okay, let me go out there and do my job and do what he asked me to do. Down, said, hike, and before the receivers even get past 5 yards of their route, first down is at 19 yards, y'all. Before they even get past 5 yards of their route, the quarterback already on the ground. What in the hell decision did he miss out on? What decision did he miss out on? Come on, man. I don't get it. Do you know the type of situations this man was in? Terrible decision making. Come on, man. Jeremy, I appreciate that, man. Quarterbacks got smarter. Don't idolize anyone or anything. Tannehill will call like an 8-man box in single back formation. Pete, stop sitting here acting like Tannehill make the calls. That's what kills me. Like, come on, bro. You keep on putting this on Tannehill. You act like he was the one making the calls, the play calls. Adam Gase said in the press conference, I give him 3 plays. Whatever one is best in that situation, I give him a run play, I give him a pass play. And then I give him another play. I give him 3 plays. I need one of those 3 ran. This is the NFL. There are certain base defenses that look terrible. I mean, that look great on all 3 of the calls that Adam Gase were giving. And then when Tannehill would change the play, which sometimes he would, to one of those 3 plays for a better look, the defense adjusts right into it, and now that looks bad. But he only got 3 plays. Only got 3, man. God bless, brother. Love warms. Appreciate you, Jeremy. What's up with the God stuff in the football chat? He good, man. He ain't taking over the chat. I'm pretty sure he was just stopping through to spread it a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with that over here. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't think he's going to keep on just posting, but that's all good. Why am I getting dizzy? Oh, am I doing that? Oh, I'm moving. Ika! See? You keep on taking my mic. Babies, man. These babies. And you know what? Stop. Get off of me. Get off of me. Get down. Because I got a bone to pick with you. Listen to me. Come here. Every time it's nap time, and I go live, I find you out here messing with me. You're supposed to be... No, come here. You're supposed to be napping. You ate lunch and now you're supposed to be napping, okay?
Okay.
Night. Bye-bye. Take a nap. Close your door. Future Dolphin fan or Cowboys? Dolphins, man. It ain't even that question. What's the point of talking Tannehill? He's gone. People that don't like Tannehill won't change their minds and vice versa. When we talk Tannehill, it's not about Tannehill. It's about the situation he was in. It's not about the person. See, I keep on telling y'all I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about his situation because I'm nervous for Josh Rosen. Because if he's thrusted into a similar situation, then I'm sad for the kid. Because we're going to try to write him off like Tannehill. That's why I'm talking. I'm not talking about Tannehill. I'm just bringing up his situation. That's all I'm saying. So it ain't about him, man. But to end this, guys, in regards to that article, we did repeat some things again down the same road, but will we stay consistent down the train tracks and stop taking a detour and trust in the process, man? Tannehill got 3 coaches and 4 coordinators fired. Point the finger at the QB. Sean. Well, that wasn't Sean. Edgar. 20 quarterbacks. Tannehill is only 1. 20 quarterbacks. Got 3 times that as much coaches fired. See, and this is what I preach to y'all. You got to look at sample size. You have to look at sample size, y'all. Let me put it like this. If I throw 100 passes and I complete 95 of them, I'm a 95% night-night, Carter. Carter, night-night. Stop. You should be napping in bed, okay? If I throw 100 passes and I complete 95 and I'm a 95% passer, and my opponent next to me throws 1 pass and completes that one and he's 100%, who's better? Who do you think is the better QB? Who do you trust more? This is why stats, you can't just look at the surface number. Like Tannehill, 1 person got 4 coordinators and 4 this and that fired. You can't do that. Because look at the larger sample size. Forget the Tannehill era. It's been 20 years and 20 quarterbacks. So that debunks what you're talking about. 20 years, 20 quarterbacks, 10 coaches. Come on, man. Trust me, man. You talking to a numbers person right here, man. You can't throw them just general numbers. Oh, 1 quarterback, 4 different coordinators. Blame the quarterback. You can't throw numbers at me like that. You got to know. See, I'm always going to reach. I'm going to always reach for all the data. All the data. People who just look at the surface data and take that. See, the people who look at those 2 quarterbacks, the 95% thrower and 100% thrower, any day, if you put 2 quarterbacks up with a blind face and say this one completes 95% of the passes and that one completes 100, the ill-informed people are giving that 100 all day. The wise people, the smart people are going to be like, Oh, 100 versus 95. What was the sample size? What was the sample size? Smart people gonna say, what was the sample size? Oh, the 95 threw 100 passes. The 100 only threw one pass. I promise you, any smart person will say, oh, I got a larger sample size, I'll go with the 95. Even if that 100 person turns out to be 100 across the board throwing 100 passes, I'll take the 95. Because I know, see, that's a small sample size. I ain't know, see, man, y'all better use your brain, man. Use your brain. It's no difference when you look at the news and they be talking about, oh, a recent poll just came out to say that this person is 60% favorable. I don't sit there and be like, oh, that person's favorable. No, I say, who did you poll? And then you find out majority of the people you polled was on that person's side. Oh, makes sense now. He should, or he or she should have a positive percentage. You know, I dive deeper, man. Y'all keep on looking at this surface stuff, the world gonna keep fooling y'all. The world gonna keep on making you look dumb. The world gonna keep on making you feel, actually sound very ignorant in front of people who actually look at the data deeper. 7 years is a good sample size. First of all, it was 5 years. You got to take the injuries out when you talk about on the field. In 2 of those years, he looked very good. And then the other years, sample size, offensive line. Offensive line. And you know what kills me about that? How about this? Which would you rather? You know what? I want to answer from everybody. Would you rather a QB that comes in the league the first few years they win a Super Bowl? Or would you rather a QB that wins one Super Bowl, but in 8 years out of winning the Super Bowl, ain't been to the playoffs 7 times? Which would you rather? Which would you rather? A QB whose first few years comes into the league and win a Super Bowl, or a QB who had 8 years and won one Super Bowl but never made the playoffs in the other 7? Please tell me in the comment section, which would you rather? Which would you rather? Both of them won the Super Bowl, though. Both of them won the Super Bowl. Eric, both of them won the Super Bowl. One of them young, first few years, won a Super Bowl. The other one won a Super Bowl in his 8 years. It could have been early, could have been late, but 7 years didn't even make the playoffs. First one, second one, first one, the second one. Don't would you rather, bro? We talking about what wide receivers have now and what he have and shit, bro. I don't understand what you mean, Eddie. Please elaborate so I can understand it. Second, first. Y'all see what's funny about that? Some of you saying the first scenario. Some of you saying the second. Some of you saying the first. Some of you saying the second. It's so divided. But how about I tell you, both scenarios are the same person. Both scenarios are the same person. Did Flacco not win a Super Bowl early? And then didn't make the freaking playoffs for 7 years straight? But y'all will, see, that shows that some of y'all are so reactive. You're reactive. Oh, I want the guy who's going to win the Super Bowl right away. And some of y'all, oh, he got a Super Bowl and then didn't make the playoffs for the next year. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why some of y'all said the second one, because they both won a Super Bowl, but at least the first one, you got a better upside for the future. You got a better upside for the future. But the crazy thing is, you see my point? Do you see my point? You're so fast to pick one, and you should have some clarifying questions. They're the same person, Joe Flacco. The same person. Both scenarios I gave you was the same freaking person, Joe Flacco. And half of y'all would rather Joe Flacco, half of y'all would rather Joe Flacco. But look at the circumstance. Look at the year difference. You see what I'm saying? That's my whole point, man. That was a good point. I'm trying, Terrence. Trying to show them the light, man. To get their head off of just player. You got to look at more than an individual in the game of football. Because no one player can impact the game big enough to win on their own. It's not even possible. It's not even possible. It's not. The greatest running back of all time, if he had a trash O-line, wouldn't have been the greatest running back of all time. Second, because I'd rather build to something special. Lucas, the truth is you don't know enough information to make a decision, bro. When we're saying first one or the second one, truth is you don't know enough information to make a decision. But the problem that we're doing these days are making a decision without enough information. We automatically throw a conclusion and don't test it. You see, that's all I keep on trying to say. I don't know how to say it in the right way to get y'all to get it. We keep on making conclusions without never testing it to see if that's the real reason. And then we wonder why we keep going in cycles. Tannehill's 7 years was no different from the other quarterbacks before him. Between him and Marino, his 7 years was no different. Man, what would you rather have, franchise QB or top-notch defense? It depends. You see how I'm going to ask a clarifying question on that? It depends on the structure of your team and the climate of the NFL in today's world. If the climate of the NFL is offensive juggernauts, then I'd rather have literally a top-notch defense. If it's all defense and these offenses are pretty trash, then I'd rather have a franchise quarterback. Let me start lying. I'd rather have the defense. I'd rather have the defense if depending on, it's just the landscape of the NFL at the time. And also the strengths of my team. Can I even have a top-notch defense? Based off of what I'm looking at right now, and I'm answering your question based off of if we were going into war today. Barry had a shitty O-line and always played well. Only a running back to have 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. See, Matthew Jenkins, those are false facts. The fact is he played well consistently all the way throughout. But when you say he had a shitty O-line, stop sitting here acting like Barry Sanders had a shitty O-line for 10 years straight. I don't care if he had 4 years of a bad O-line. And a matter of fact, it might have been the last 4 that you remember. Oh, it ain't the greatest O-line, but he's still putting in work. But don't sit here and act like the Lions O-line was trash for 10 years. Come on. See, it's a sample size here. The O-line wasn't trash for 10 years. And a matter of fact, to be quite fair, what you're calling a shitty O-line back then wasn't even shitty. That's like saying the norm of what a lot of them had. Now, it may have not been as outstanding as other lines, but your definition of shitty back in the day is like ranked number 13 or 15 because the O-lines were all so similar. Most of the time in the past, O-lines didn't stand out like they do now. Would you want the Super Bowl anyways? We never experienced one. No, man, I want long-term success. See, I'll answer your question. I already answered your question, but I'll answer it with another question. We won a Super Bowl in 72. Went back in 73 and lost. I think that was the order. 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012. Man, we going on 47 years, man. So would you rather win a Super Bowl this year and then miss out on the next 47 years again? That's basically what you're asking me. Do you want to go win a Super Bowl this year? If you knew that you would miss out for the next 47 years just to get one this year, is that what you want? I don't want that. In the next 47 years, I want my team to go to the playoffs 30 times. 30 plus times. In the next 47 years, I want to win 2, 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls. I want to be able to enjoy being a fan. There's nothing to enjoy if we go get a ring right now. Like look at the Bears in the last 20 years still up. Y'all give me a second, man. Let's go, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, you got to take your nap here. You're going to be cranky later. No, man. I want to enjoy being a fan, man. Winning a Super Bowl by itself just ain't good enough. I want to enjoy my life with the Miami Dolphins. I want to root for them every year. I want to go to the second round of the playoffs and lose sometimes. I mean, I don't want to. I want to win it all. But I want to be satisfied with, man, we made it to the divisional round. Man, we made it to the AFC Championship game. Oh, we got us one. We got us one, baby. In the next year, oh, we made it to the divisional round. Oh, we got another one. Oh, we made the playoffs. Oh, man, we lost in the wild card this year. What a down. I want our down year to be lost in the wild card. I want our failure year to be, oh, we lost. Like our worst best is losing in the wild card. I want repeated playoff appearances. I want to feel good as a fan going into that week. I want to look at the Jets and Buffalo and say, we made the playoffs almost every year. What y'all doing? Sam Darnold, 4 picks again. Tell him thank you, by the way, for getting us in this year with another 4 picks. That's what I want to do. I don't see y'all got me twisted if you think, oh, I want to win the Super Bowl this year and I don't care if we don't win for the next 50. Nah, I want to enjoy being a Miami Dolphin fan. Do you know what the Patriot fan base is living on right now? Like they could suck for the next 10 years and still be proud. It's been 47 for us. 47. We done had the greatest quarterback of all time, in my opinion. An asterisk on there that didn't win a Super Bowl, and it didn't even matter. But we need the quarterback of the future. Dan Marino should have taught you every lesson you needed to learn about saying stuff like that. That kills me. That kills me. It's all about the quarterback. Well, if it was all about the quarterback, why in the hell did we not win a Super Bowl with Dan Marino? Come on, man. So if you could have Dan Marino in his prime or Tannehill, which would you choose? Dan Marino, of course. Why can't we have our cake and eat it too? And the truth is, I've never seen Tannehill in his prime. Because in order for you to see their prime, you got to be able to see everything around them well. And now let's see who you are at your best. Everything around you allows you to flourish. We're giving you every tool you need to be successful. Show us your art. Show us your art. Show us your art. We've never seen Tannehill in his prime. All these people that don't know what that means always say, oh, yeah, we did. It's called injury time. Get out of here, man. You make it seem as if we can't have a great team and QB. J Rose, I'm trying to think of how to answer that for you. I don't think I make it seem like we can't have a great team and a great QB. I think you're missing my number one principle of the simple fact that a great team is what actually makes the great QB. A great team is actually what makes the great QB. Brady is great because he has 8s all around him. Imagine Brady doing the exact same thing he's done his whole career, but you know what? The receivers done dropped about, I'll be generous, 15% of the passes he threw that were complete. You drop his number by 15%, not because of him, but his receivers. Is he as great? Oh, no. Because he don't go to as many Super Bowls. He don't go to as many playoff appearances. Just by a 15% drop in his completion percentage. No. Let me even take it a step further. Let's just hypothetically, I don't know his exact number. Let's say Brady completes a staggering 70% of his passes. Imagine if he only completed 68%. 7% drop, not because of him. It's always on the money, in the hands. But the receivers drop it. The receivers drop it. You know, you remember the days like the Dolphins, the Devon Besses and stuff like that. Oh, I used to love Devon Best though. But you know in them crunch games where you get those little selective drops and stuff like that, you're like, Imagine if that happened to Brady. 70% passer, 75% passer to a 68. Come on. He got at least 2 less rings, at least 4 less playoff appearances. Man, come on, man. Come on. Wrong. A great team don't make a great QB. Great QBs may not win with a lousy defense, but he is still great. I disagree. The people around the quarterback make him great. The people around the quarterback make him great. See, I think you're just wanting to prove your point that you're just refusing to listen to mine. Matter of fact, Mark, how about you answer this? No, just answer this. Don't elaborate. Just answer the question. Let me bring you back to exactly what I just said. If Brady throws the ball and he's a 75% completion percentage, and that drops to 68%, not because of him, but because the people he's throwing to keeps dropping the ball. Is he still the same quarterback? Is he still the same quarterback? I already know your answer. Yes, he's still the same quarterback because it wasn't his fault. How convenient it is to give him a pass when you got quarterbacks who don't have receivers dropping the ball at 7% less, like literally 15% less. When you got receivers that are in a totally different situation as Brady. Look at this. Brady has lifted wideouts play. They go to other teams and fall off. That's just not true. That's just not true at all. You say they go to other teams and fall off. Matter of fact, I'll challenge you by saying, tell me who, first of all. Second off, you can't just say, oh, they go to other teams and fall off when they go to other teams in different situations. Like, for the life of me, how many times I got to say this? If Brady got a great O-line and he got the time he need to throw to his receivers and they're catching balls in New England, and then that receiver like Amendola goes to Miami and he still actually caught balls. Honestly, Amendola ain't have a bad season for Miami. He's still catching balls. Yes, it did fall off, but at the end of the day, what was the change? You want to say quarterback, but the O-line. The O-line. It's strictly the O-line. So what are you talking about? If that was the case, you know what? I'll throw one name to you, Mark, and I'll end the conversation because this should just end it for you. This will ether everything you talking about. Just shut it off. This will shut it off. You ready? I'm going to throw one name at you. Matt Castle. Matt Castle. Matt Castle. Did Brady elevate his play? Because it looks like he was a great quarterback under that system. It had nothing to do with Brady. Brady nowhere to be found. He hurt. Oh, my leg. He hurt. He's gone. He's gone now. But Matt Castle leaves the Patriots and he falls off. Was that because of Brady? Or did Matt Castle in New England find himself in a situation that Brady takes advantage of every year? That should be argument over. Mark, that should be argument over. Matt Castle was your proof that you're wrong. Matt Castle. Take Brady out of the equation. You had a backup quarterback that did just as good, if not better, in some cases, on any given year. How many wins they had? 13 that year? And Tom Brady, he hurt himself first or second game because he was on my fantasy and ruined my season because I win my fantasy almost every year. And that year was rough because I drafted Brady #1 overall. 11-5, okay. Matt Castle. And y'all tell me Matt Castle didn't look spectacular that year. Just throwing balls all over the field. He got time to throw. Them spirals looking pretty. Matt Castle proved I'm right. How did he prove you right? He proving I'm right. He had a system and he had a team around him that made him great. And then he went somewhere else and he was trash. So how did he prove you right? He's proving me right. What are you talking about? Now, are you flipping it now or something? Remember, Matt Castle was trash for his career in the NFL. The 1 year that gave him his money and a chance and everything was being a backup for the Patriots and coming in and starting, winning 11 games, going 11-5. He was balling behind that team that elevated his play. You mean to tell me a quarterback that got several years that was trash? But before all of that, he was surrounded by people that made him look great. Bill ain't the reason for the Patriots' success. Wedson, go check out my stream yesterday. I detail it out, the reason for the success. It's everybody. It's the competitive advantage. It's the money. It's the money. All players need a great system to succeed. Thank you, Edgar. That's my point. So does Brady. That's my point. All players need a great system to succeed. Don't exclude Brady out of that. But we were talking to where he at? Where he go? He done disappeared on us. Mark Jacob. We talking to Mark Jacob here. I don't understand what he talking about. Am I wrong, y'all? Y'all tell me am I wrong? To prove my point to Mark Jacob here. Saying that, oh, Brady is the one elevating everybody else play. And everybody else goes to be trash. Okay, then what do you got to say about the Matt Castle situation? Brady didn't elevate his play. That team elevated Matt Castle's play. All those 8s around him made him look like a 9. Matter of fact, let's keep it 100, man. I don't care. We forget Matt Castle's career. That year, Matt Castle looked like an elite quarterback. If y'all remember that year, none of y'all could disagree with me. Matt Castle looked like an elite quarterback because the players around him made him look elite. And you want me to just crown Brady as all of that and more when he's lived around that elitism all his life for the Patriots? Just a great defense, just a great offensive line, a great offensive scheme, good coaching, good organization, making smart deals, not overpaying for players, able to get better players. Come on. I know, thanks, Carlos. I know I ain't wrong because I got the evidence around here from what I'm talking about. See, Mark thought he could throw out some general evidence without actual substantial data to back it up. He wanted to say a general, oh, well, all the other players go and they fall off. You're correct. Because also those other players go to organizations that ain't built like the Patriots. They got 3 10-rated players on their offense, and the rest of those guys are 6s, when the Patriots are nothing but 8s across the whole offense. The Patriots are nothing but 8s across the whole offense. It's like playing for Alabama every year. Everybody can be a 7 or an 8, but it makes everybody look like they 9s and 10s, and that's why they get drafted early. Because, I mean, it's easy. It's easy, man. When you on a D line and every single D lineman next to you is a 5-star recruit, and then you playing out of the 10 games you play a season, 7 of the teams are trash in your conference anyway. They fighting to get 2 and 3-star recruits. And you wonder why their stats are just above everybody else's. And then they save money on it too. Same thing as college, man. Same thing. The freaking Alabama save money on their picks because in college, it ain't no, we'll give you this much. No. Everybody want to come here first of all because we winners. You're right, TD. Put Aaron Rodgers with the Patriots. Do they have less success? No, maybe even more success. You might be right. Hell, I'll take it a step further. Put Matt Ryan on the Patriots. They'll be competitive every year with success. Put Eli on the Patriots. Put Flacco on the Patriots. They've proven that they can do it when you have that kind of team around them. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why I be saying some people don't know football, man. They make these general comments that are false facts, man. False facts. You're right in what you're saying, but you're not giving the full picture. You're right in what you're saying, but you're not giving the full picture. Not giving the full picture, man. TD, did Mark know about Brady before he got drafted? He was a backup at Michigan. Oh, I know. I know. I know. Yeah, I'm sure he knows it because everybody talk about his draft status and stuff. He probably don't know it. I don't know. I like to see Tannehill in the Patriots. Hey, Darth Sadistic, man, I used to say that. I used to say, don't be surprised if the Patriots don't actually pick him up. Because I wouldn't want to see that, because even though I'll be yelling at all kind of people, then he'll be coming back to haunt us. Answer this. Did Nick Foles did better with the Eagles than Carson Wentz have done? I mean, I can't say he did, and let me tell you why. Different scenario, different situation, you know. Nick Foles, the Super Bowl year, I could argue that no other team was stacked as much as the Eagles. The Eagles basically sold a whole ship just to get that roster stacked. Think about it. We got a draft pick for Jay Ajayi. They were bringing in, like, they had depth like you've never seen in the NFL. They had depth like you've never seen. They had a roster like no other. And that's the reality. Nick Foles came in, and I think that he just wasn't a liability. He didn't cause them to lose. He did his job, nothing more, nothing less. Let's be honest. Other than that Super Bowl, I didn't see nothing spectacular from Nick Foles. I just saw that the man didn't make mistakes. He didn't make mistakes. But the team around him, they were running the hell out of that ball. Two-headed monster. They were executing that play action very well, and that defense was tough. That defense was tough, other than the Super Bowl game. So, and Wentz, he kept getting hurt, so you can't really evaluate him as a quarterback in his entirety, because I don't think you have the larger portion of a sample size. Before his injuries, they were already sold on him, but then the injuries started. So it's hard to say. Those are the two guys you got to compare 4 or 5 years from now and see what ends up happening. Maybe even sooner, because, hey, your boy in Jacksonville now, what's going to happen? Is he going to start to look non-Wentz-like? Is he going to hit the middle of the pack like the Tannehills and all those guys? That'll be another level. We talk about a Super Bowl winning quarterback who was on a team who had everything. Now look at him. Can barely get 7 wins. Evidence keeps on showing itself right in front of us, man. Tannehill takes a pass for a ring, I'll be so mad. You better hope you don't take Tennessee. But anyway, TD, can you explain why not run 3-4 scheme with 3 defensive tackles if they are 4 best D linemen? Manuel, the reason why you don't run 3 defensive tackles if the best linemen on our team are defensive tackles is because defensive tackles does well against centers and guards. History shows defensive tackles aren't as successful against defensive end. Aren't as successful against left and right tackles. That's where your defensive ends come in, because there's speed. So at the end of the day, even if you got amazing defensive tackles, you'll actually have a rougher time put it like this. You'll actually even have a rough time stopping the run, because they'll have an easier time getting around a corner from a speed standpoint. Not only that, if they do go around that corner, that leaves even wider gaps for running backs to run through lanes in the B and C gap. So at the end of the day, that's not a smart move. Now, there are cases you're going to have your defensive tackle. You'll have 2 defensive tackles on the field. Just depend on the scheme that Flores is running, because there's many times the Patriots will run 2 defensive tackles in a 3-4, might I add. Now, we already know, you always have 2 defensive tackles like in a 4-3, because you can anchor down in the middle. But you have to understand what he said, but the linebackers can take care of that. You said again, but you're asking your linebackers to overcommit to something that they shouldn't. So imagine them worried about the outside on play action. That means they literally have to commit every time, because if a linebacker has to secure the edge, That means if it's a play action, they're going to be required to go downhill. They can't sit back and wait for the handoff and then go. They're going to lose every time. So if you rely on the linebacker to take that, if you're running 3 defensive tackles, he has to go downhill and get faked on a play action every single time. That's not good for defense. You can't run all 3 defensive tackles. I mean, who knows? Flores might run 3 defensive tackles and say, I got a way to do it. But, conventional wisdom will tell you their job is to battle in there with the center and the guards and push forward and become a run stop and a gap stop and just make a wall right there that cannot be penetrated. Quarterbacks can't step up in the lane or none of that. That's their job. But you're asking them to go on the outside and do speed rushes and bull rushes. Bull rushes may be successful, but if they're engaged with the left tackle or right tackle, and mind you, your left tackle is your best lineman in the league. You see what I mean? That's high quality. High quality. So it's counterproductive, and it will be more detrimental if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from. Our best players on the D-line are all tackles. Not unless 1 or 2 of those guys slim up by about 15 pounds. And I just don't know. That's going to lose their integrity up the middle, too. It's not their job to come around that corner unless it's a scheme thing. You need speed rushers that ain't carrying that kind of weight to try to come around the corner to get at quarterback. Do you know that most sacks happen after, how a quarterback gets sacked real fast, 2 seconds or whatever? Truth is, most sacks happen from coverage breakdown, so it takes about 3-4 seconds. But if you're putting defensive tackles on the outside, they're not going to get there. They're going to make these scary quarterbacks have enough time to actually start throwing it away, and they're going to allow them to make good decisions. One moment, y'all. Hello? Hey, I'm live. What's up? Oh, wow. I called him back before I started. But no, I'll call him as soon as I end this stream. I only got a few minutes left. Bye-bye. But yeah, I don't see it as a great idea for that reason. And who knows? Flores might surprise us with it and it might work. But did that answer your question? And does it make sense logically? Let me know what you think. TD, will the Tennessee commit to Ryan Tannehill? I'm not sure. He got to go out there and ball. If he don't, he's going to be a certified backup long term. The following year, Alshon Jeffrey dropped the TD pass to the conference championship. If the linebackers can take I read that the following year, you like Wilkins is fast though. Manuel, yes, Wilkins is fast, but there's a difference between defensive tackle fast and defensive end fast. There's also a difference. Now, don't get me wrong. If you look at Wilkins' play, sometimes they actually they line him up all over, to be honest with you. So that's a plus for us. That's why I like the pick even more, because that's a multifaceted pick. It's a multifaceted pick, He can play many of those positions, so you can't lose. So that does go into what you're saying a little better, where it's possible. But he wouldn't actually be listed as a D tackle if that's the case. He'll be on the depth chart as a DN if they have to. Don't forget, Laramie Tunsil played guard his rookie year behind Brandon Albert. What up, Fat Boy Swag 2905 Gizzle? Breaking news: we just signed a tackle. Yeah, I know from Buffalo, but I got to check that out. Get some details. TD, I actually think Andrew Van Ginkel will be great pass rusher, very long and sure tackler. I like the kid, but guys, always look at 2 sides of it. Go look at his pros, his highlight, but also go look at the cons. There are some things where sometimes when a defender, not a defender, but sometimes are we talking about the same person? Maybe we're not. Never mind. I'll elaborate on that later, man. Because our offensive lineman is who I'm talking about. The guard that we drafted, who may actually start day 1. He's a great guard. He's going to start. I don't know why I'm getting the names mixed up already, but our offensive guard, he's going to start, in my opinion. But the issue is sometimes he's not as productive with bull rushes. So he actually goes backwards sometimes. So something to look out for. Breon, I got new office equipment, TD. I can't I can't locate it, the volume on this new computer. Please communicate in sign language. Thanks, man. Hey, man. Fins up. That's all I can give you. I don't know. Shocked we haven't picked up anyone now that we won't lose compensatory picks. You also got to, we're going to pick up people. It's just going to take time. We're not going to rush into the market and just pick up people. Matter of fact, I kind of like that. Don't rush into the market just grabbing people because they're there. Grab people next week as far as I care, because that means they've already been passed up on the money that they are looking for. So now let's start talking about realistic money. And guys, the pickups are going to happen. We got like 73 people on the roster. We still need another 20 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. We still need several people to bring in. So, and a lot of it's going to be offensive line competition. I really think we're going to find some gems this year on the offensive line. That's good. I do. Dieter, that's who I was talking about. Yes, Dieter is who I was talking about. I love him. It's just he does bull rushes aren't his strong suit, so it's something that he gotta, I guess, just get in the weight room and grab some more strength. Tua isn't proven yet. No quarterback coming out of college is proven. I don't know why people always make it seem like they are. Nick Perry is next to sign. We'll see, man. Y'all know I don't talk about signings or who we looking at until it happen. And that's because half of the things don't even happen. I asked Doug yesterday the same question, and you knocked it out the park. Doug gave a general response. Well, Doug was doing a live. I was on his live yesterday, man. Y'all go tune in to Doug if you're not subscribed. Pretty cool guy, man. But Doug, man, if he gave a general answer, sometimes you don't know, you haven't broke that down or really. You know what? Let me stop. No battery. I'm not gonna knock Doug for that. Let me tell you why. Let me read what Manuel said again. I asked Dougley yesterday the same question, and you knocked it out the park. Dougley gave a general answer. Manuel, let me tell you why. So for y'all who are fans of Doug, that's no knock on Doug for giving a general answer. You know the only reason I gave you the answer that I gave you? Because I actually read that question, and it must have been you on Doug's stream yesterday. So, and I tuned in for like 7 minutes. I was listening while I was in the restroom brushing my teeth and stuff. And, my nighttime winding down. I was in the restroom. I was listening to Doug. And if you were in there, you saw me come in the chat section saying, love your stream, Doug. And it was around that time when you asked that question. And the only reason I had an answer for it, because I read chats all day to see what y'all are talking about and think about it. And I had time to think about that. Why not give 3 defensive tackles? And then I said it wouldn't be smart, logically. I mean, look at the NFL. I didn't just come up that with my head. I was thinking he's right. I mean, our best defensive linemen are tackles. And then I had to sit back and evaluate it. I had about 20 minutes to evaluate that. But Doug, you just asked him on the spot. So lucky me, I guess, but that's not a knock on Doug. You're not going to answer everything just spot on. Because sometimes you gotta, think about what's being asked. So it was pretty cool. Doug knows his stuff, man. It ain't gonna just be a knockout the park every time. But I do appreciate when people answer stuff like that and they got facts behind it, Yeah, I love Doug too, man. He's a pretty good guy, man. We're supposed to be collabing again soon. That's gonna be lit. You think it will be smart to sign Nick Perry? Evan, please forgive me. I'm not even trying to go there with you. And the reason why is because I need to go do some more research on Nick Perry and his career. Because it's one thing, I know who Nick Perry is, but it's one thing to just know who he is until you actually go look him up, read up on him, and be like, man, I didn't know that. Oh, this is a great pickup. Or, man, I didn't know that. This actually, I wouldn't take that chance. I don't just dive in. I can give you a general, but again, if we didn't sign him yet, if we signed him and I didn't know anything about him, I'll tell you what I thought right now. But I don't waste my energy on people that we keep on prospect. The same thing I said for the draft. Did we get one player that anybody say we were going to get in the draft, ladies and gentlemen? And you might have had 1 or 2 people say Christian Wilkins, which many didn't. But did we get one player in the draft that we say we were going to get, all these billion names thrown out. Not one. And that's why I told y'all, that's why I don't do that much draft coverage, because all the stuff ain't nothing to do get clicks and get y'all views, because it's all, half of it don't even turn out. It's a waste. Y'all get excited about half the stuff that don't even happen. I'm not wasting my time doing it. I got 5 kids. You can't be doing that, man. I love Doug, K-Flex, Devar, Dylan, Skaggs, your top Dolphin YouTubers. I gotta check out Devore. I checked Doug, K-Flex, and Dylan out. Skaggs, I gotta check him out more because I don't think I visited in a while. Y'all remind me of that stuff. Tell them collab with me, man. Devore, Dylan, Skaggs, tell them hit me up, man. That's collab. I collab with anybody talk Dolphins, especially if you like them. Hey, TD, give me your top 5 Dolphin players under the most pressure. That's a good question. I'm not going to give you the answer, Chris Life 144, and I'm not trying to be rude to all y'all. I ain't giving the answer to it. Here's why. I'm working on a series right now for the channel. We're evaluating every single position on the roster in the depth chart. We're evaluating the first one that I'm doing, and I'm going to release that tonight, is the wide receivers. It's an hour and about 10-minute video. We break down the wide receivers on our roster, and if you didn't know, we got like 7 or 8 wide receivers on our roster. And I talk about each one. I talk about if they're in a long-term plan, short-term plan. I talk about their money, their contract, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. I'm breaking it down in depth. And if you follow all the videos of the positions, you will know our team very well when it's all said and done. This is what's going to help educate you on our team and the players that's on the roster. Okay? So I've already actually completed the wide receiver video. It's actually in the room on the computer right now, loading, and I've already edited it and everything. So stay tuned for the series. We're doing wide receivers. The next thing up, I'm going to work on running backs tomorrow. So today I'm going to release the wide receiver video. And tomorrow, hopefully at night, I'll have enough time to release the running backs video. And we're going to keep going position by position. Every single player that's on the roster right now, free agent, rookie, AFF player, whatever it is, current players, their contract situations. No, you're not being a spoiler. I'm glad you said that because it segues into it. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to upload that video and have it buffer into YouTube. I'm going to post it either around 4 or 5 o'clock today, or I might post it tonight in premieres and watch it with you guys. If I have the time, I might watch a little bit and then enjoy the night with the wife. So we'll see. But I'm gonna start posting those videos because I want to break down our roster in more detail, each player individually, so we know their current situation. Just who they are on the field isn't enough. You got to understand their contract. You got to understand, are they in our long-term plan? I explain why they are, why they aren't. I break things down in a lot of detail. Who has a chance with these young players to steal a position, why they have a chance because of the older players, all that stuff. In the first video is very in-depth, and we're going to work on running backs after that. But yeah, so look out tonight for the wide receivers, guys. We're going to hit that one. So what happened to knowing the winning formula? I keep telling you I have no faith in Flores until I see 6 games. The winning formula, Nick, I did a video on it yesterday. It's on my channel. Actually, it's 3 videos because it kept cutting out on me. Because the camera, I got to fix the camera settings that I have. They would only let me record 30 minutes at a time. So it's 3 videos. It's like 30, 30, and 10. So I put it, edited, no. Yeah, it's 3 parts. Go check my channel out. I put it so that, and it's going to show you the winning formula. We just got to stick to that. It shows you why the Patriots got a competitive advantage. I know, but now your title is back to what failed in 2001. I think you meant 2012. That's not what the title is about, Nick. You're going to have to start the stream from the beginning to understand why the title reads that way. The title reads that way, Nick, because there was an article that came out today that said the Miami Dolphins are repeating what they did in 2012, and it kind of suggests that it's a failing process. But this stream at the beginning was all about the fact that nothing was wrong with what we did in 2012. It's the same thing we're doing now, and I love what we're doing now. It's just that in 2012, we executed 1, 2, 3, just like now we done executed 1, 2, 3, and hopefully Flores and Greer and them keep going 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the past, we did 1, 2, 3. Then we're like, oh my gosh, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3 again. Oh my gosh, 2, 3, 4. You know, so it was just a back and forth situation. So check out the title. Check out the beginning of the video. You'll see what I'm talking about, man. Armando's article, I read it. Yeah, man. Nothing he said was wrong, but the suggestion that it was a failure in the past. But it wasn't a failure because of those 3 things that they did at the beginning. It was what they did after they did those things at the beginning. They weren't consistent. They started offering these bloated contracts. They started, not developing their own talent. It was several things that they were doing that made everything fall apart. Just because you start out the right, it's like playing a video game. You know how to master level 1, and you know how to master level 2. The only problem with this video game is, as soon as you lose, even if you lose on level 50, you're required to start at level 1. That's the problem. We did 1, 2, 3 because we keep getting through that level. You know, we restart, we get the coach, we get the quarterback. It really ain't their fault. But then we keep on losing in that process and making us start from square one. And that's where the issue comes. If you lose, don't start over. Make sure you save the game after you won those first 3 levels so that every time you lose, you start in level 4. That's the difference. That's what we were talking about early on in this stream. Is showing the difference because the article suggested it was the same. And that we're basically headed down the same road that we did before. Because every team's going to have failures, y'all. I mean, think about it. The Chiefs just missed out on going to the Super Bowl. So for them, they had a failure. But does that mean they need to scrap everything and start from square one? You see what I mean? They got their save button on AFC Championship. Let's go with the same thing and let's try to improve on that. And what are they doing? They bringing in more weapons and everything. So that's what's happening. That's what this was about. So I don't want you to get the wrong idea, all right? 7-9 in 2012, I can see that happening again. Even if it happens again, it's about what you do next year. Do you scrap all again, or do you pick up where you left off? And the problem is we keep on scrapping, cleaning house and starting over versus taking our strengths and building. Hey, I'm going to read a few more and I'm out of here, guys. I think Tannehill was the biggest issue. If he popped, we could have probably put a better roster around. If he popped, you mean if he actually blossom? I disagree. Again, I mean, you got to go listen to my videos. I keep on preaching the same thing. It never had anything to do with him. He could have, once again, he could have been Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, he still would have been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And Wedson, if you believe in Rosen right now, then, well, again, what's the difference? Rosen looked like boo-boo trash. Looked worse than Tannehill last year. Looked worse than Tannehill's rookie year, might I add. Looked worse than Tannehill's rookie year. Tannehill actually was third in NFL history in completion yards in the first 4 seasons. Go look it up. Go look it up. Number 3. But he was also the second most sacked quarterback in NFL history in those 4 years. So imagine a quarterback who's top 3 in passing yards in the first 4 years is also the most sacked in the first 4 years. Imagine if he had 20% of those sacks back. Oh my gosh, he would have been breaking records. Y'all missing it. You're missing it. It never had nothing to do with Tannehill. It was always the O-line. TD, do got your fingers on the lens. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I bet we continue cleaning house like we have always done. Well, that would be the insanity, Nick. But we need to recognize when we do that, it's the reason why we keep cleaning the house because we keep on putting the blame on the wrong people. We keep on naming certain players of this and that, and this. That's why we keep cleaning the house. But I'm out of here, man. This is TD Fans Talk. Terrence say pray for the Miami Dolphins 2019. Please, please. I do every night, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all love and support. We're about 1 hour and 40 minutes in. I got to get off this stream, man. The babies done had, they only supposed to nap 1 hour and a half, so I'm 1 hour and 40, even though the Carter ain't napping anyway. But this TD Fans Talk. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate your love and support. Peace. I'm out, man. Let me go check out the free agent guard that we picked up. Talk to y'all later, man.